Hello friends, my name is Matti McLean. I'm Canadian Eurovision, and today I'm ranking, well, not really ranking. I'm choosing my choices to go forward for the second semifinals of Eurovision 2022. This is a really good experience for me to try to wash the taste of the American Song Contest out of my mouth, and it also gets my thoughts on the record. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from the very, 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 very bottom of Season 2, Semifinal 2, and we're going to work our way up. So when you see something and you know that I'm talking about it, I'm going to try this again. I did try this once before, and I immediately got flagged because they're just like, you're using the images. So I'm going to try something new, see if that works, and see what we can do. All right, let's see what my choices are for semifinal number 2. The bottom of my list is Belgium. I must admit, Belgium is not my favorite this year. I think that it's highly forgettable. I think that he's a very talented performer, but I really do think that there's something about the song that just fails to connect on every level. I don't think that the song was well put together. It has a very Jason Derulo style and feel to it without any of his hooks or catch or fun. And overall, I really do think that this is one that's just forgettable and will likely remain as a memory of the contest. So Belgium this year, I have to say, not one of my favorites, not feeling it, don't see it qualifying. It's currently in 18th. This next one might surprise people because people know I love RuPaul's Drag Race, but I don't like my RuPaul Drag Race songs to come in as a Eurovision entry. I don't like this song. I think that Israel has a fine bitch track in terms of what it is. I don't think it's a great Eurovision song. I don't think it has the legs to stand on. I don't like, both songs are fine. They're fun at a bar. This is a fun song if it came on at in a dance club. I wouldn't be mad at it. I would love it. I'd have fun. But overall, this song lacks a lot for me. I don't think that it has quite the staying power as some of the other ones. So its one comes in at 17. I don't think it will qualify. All right, my number 16 coming in here is San Marino, Achille Lauro with Stripper. I think that this song is very, I don't know, it's forgettable. It's somehow a throwback, but also lacking any kind of forward momentum. It feels very clearly like an attempt to recapture Manskin, which is good because, we need some rock in there. But I really do feel like this song isn't performing to the level that he is at. I feel like he's an excellent performer. I feel like he does a lot of really interesting things. But unfortunately, none of them are present in the song. He really is getting overlooked a lot. And I think that's a very reasonable, and I think there's a reasonable expectation that this will not qualify. So at the end of the day, is it an interesting song? Sure. Is it good enough? I don't know. So we'll see. We just have to see at this point. Sometimes the nail of death isn't that a song isn't good, it's that it's boring or dumb or it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. And unfortunately, Malta this year does not deliver the same way as Destiny did last year, the past few years. Malta's an interesting country. They usually send some very unique things. But this year, I feel like a lot of people are having that little bad taste in your mouth moment where a lot of us are very confused why the song was changed. Even though I Am What I Am is technically a better song, it's also a more bland song. This is the song that plays at the end of every reality TV show when they're all leaving. There's not much here. I think that giving it a 15th place in my rankings is being a little generous, to be honest. But unfortunately, there's just other songs I hate more, and there's other things I hate less. So, Emma, you're a fantastic performer, very beautiful, but unfortunately, just not the right song at the right time. North Macedonia, number 14 for me. Andrea is super cool. I think that she has a really neat vibe. I think the song is really cool. I don't think it will connect. It's not getting much buzz pre-contest. She's interesting. Her voice is very, very cool. I think that she will do very interesting things in the future. I just don't think that this song is one that needs to be there, and I don't think that there's a lot of demand for this right now. So, unfortunately, I think it's just kind of a bad case scenario where nothing here is really lining up, and I unfortunately don't see this doing too well. So, 14th isn't bad. It's not the worst for sure, but unfortunately, I do not think it qualifies, and it doesn't make my list. I always strive to give credit where credit is due, and Azerbaijan normally kicks butt. They've only not made it to finals once, but I don't think they're going to make it to finals this year because this is a very ballad-heavy year. He is undoubtedly one of the best vocalists this season. His range is amazing, his tone is fantastic, but unfortunately, I just think it's the wrong song. It was released too late. If this made it, I wouldn't be mad. I think that it's a fine song, but unfortunately, I just don't think that it has quite the impact that you want it to. It really lacks a lot of power and force behind it, but his vocals can't be touched. I feel like him and Sheldon Riley are probably two of the best vocalists in this contest, and unfortunately, in the world of boy ballads, I just don't see this making it. So it currently sits for me in 13th. Sits in 13th. Georgia is weird. I always love Georgia's weirdness. I think that they're super cool. I think they do really interesting things. Unfortunately, I just don't think this song connects. I feel like it's a bit too disheveled. I feel like there's too many stokes in the fire. It's too many songs put in a blender, and then hopefully, I guess they're hoping something will come together at the end. Ultimately, I don't think that this song really stands on its own. I think that there's a lot of things here that don't work as well as we want them to. But overall, is it still fun? Yes. I think there's a lot of interesting components to this song. I think there's a lot of interesting pieces. I think in many ways it is very fun and interesting. But unfortunately, I don't see this making it to the end, and I don't think a lot of other people do. So I currently have it sitting in a very generous 12th. So one thing I will say about Hope from Estonia by Stefan is that a lot of people think he's very pretty. And when the majority of the discussion around your song is based off of how good you look, I don't know. I don't think that's a great sign. I wouldn't even say it's a good sign. I think that it's a decent enough country song. Personally, my mouth has been soured from country music because of the American Song Contest and the copious amounts of stuff that they put there that I've covered. But in terms of what Stefan's trying to do, in terms of what Hope is trying to do, it's a fine enough song. There's enough here to keep it engaged, enough to keep it interesting enough. But overall, for me, it fails to connect, and it's my last non-qualifier, currently sitting in 11th place. For me, in 10th place, I have the Rasmus. Now, they are someone who I've enjoyed for years. I really enjoy what they do. I've liked them since 2003. Because I was one of the people who actually followed In the Shadows. I thought it was a really interesting song. I think it's really cool to see them coming back. Were they my favorite at UMK? No, but at the same time, I respect the choice. I think it's grown on me. It has a really nice rock edge, and it's a lot of fun. This is something I do hope qualifies. I always like Finland because they're one of the few countries that's unafraid to send hard stuff every time. So, well, not always hard. Whenever it's not hard, it's something very not hard. But this is hard enough for it to really stand out. I think it brings a nice energy and feel to this, and I'm really excited to see what they do on the day. Controversial number 9 choice. I hope Ireland makes it. I think that Brooke brings a really interesting energy. She brings a really fun song in the mix, which is something that there isn't a lot of this year. And all the money that didn't go into the music video, I hope goes into the presentation. So if you have a moment, if you like it, I think that it's a fun choice. She has a really neat energy that is sorely needed. And hopefully, overall, I think that she performs really well. I think that she has what it takes to qualify, and it would be really nice to see Ireland in the finals again. Now, I must admit, even though Australia is choice number 8 for me, I have to say this wasn't my number 1 choice for Australia Decides. I like Jaguar Jones more. I like Journey more. But as this stands, Sheldon Riley brings a really interesting feel. I love his essentially sentimentality. He's very, very gifted vocally. I think that his voice is incredibly beautiful. And overall, I think that there's something very striking and interesting about him. I don't see this doing amazing, but I think it'll do well enough to qualify. So that's why I have it so high up the list. But hopefully on the night of, I think that they can do some really interesting things, and I can't wait to see what they've done. Unpopular choice. I want Romania in the finals. Not only do they bring a unique sound, not only do they bring something fun and exciting, they will bring an energy that is desperately needed in the finals. As many upbeat and fast-paced songs they can get in there. I don't know why this song hasn't connected with other people as much as it has to me. I think that he's a really unique and fun presence. I think that the song's really interesting. I think that it's a lot of fun. I think that's something that's really needed. I really enjoy how camp this is, because it's very camp. It's very fun. It's very frivolous. It has a very queer subtext, which I think is always fun. But overall, this is one of my favorites. I currently have it in 7th, and that's only because I think there are 6 songs that I like even more than this. So this one, I hope makes it through. I'll be a little sad if it doesn't, but at the same time, I can kind of see why, because it doesn't seem to be sparking as much love from other people as it is from me. But at the same time, you never know. So let's see. Currently have it in 7. Maybe it'll do more. Maybe it'll do less. We will see. My number 6 is the returning country of Montenegro, which is super cool. I really enjoy their songs whenever they send. Knez, I think, sent one of my favorite Eurovision songs of all time. And Vladana is wonderful. Her voice is fantastic. This song has a massive impact. It's actually one of the few songs that when I really sit down and listen to it and sit with it, I still feel this song. Like, I think that there's something very palpable about it. There's something very universal about it. Knowing it's about COVID, knowing it's about the loss of her mother, it's very touching, and there's a lot here that's very, very good. So I really hope that she makes it through. I currently have her in 6th, but she could easily be 5th as well. But we'll see how this goes. Hopefully she makes it through, and yeah, I think that she represents something very, very cool. My number 5 choice is Poland. I really like what Poland's done this year. I think that from last year, this is a massive step up, although, Rafał was fine. But I feel like this actually is something very special. I think Achman's voice is wonderful. Also, as a Canadian, I appreciate the fact that he is American, and so someone from my hemisphere is getting into the contest. That's cool. I like that. So I really hope to see what happens next year. I think that there's some really cool things that can go on with this. And overall, I think that he represents something very special, and I hope he does very well. We Are Domi has had their song out since December, and for all intents and purposes, I should be sick of this song already. But I'm not. I still love it. I still think it's great. I love her voice. I love the band. I think that they represent something super interesting and cool. I think they present in a really interesting fashion. He plays the bass with a bow. That's just cool. But there's a lot here that's really cool, and I have heard that her vocals could be a little shaky, so that gives me a little bit of cause for concern, but as of right now, she currently sits at my number 4 choice. I really hope to see her in the finals, and I'm very excited to see what she brings and what they bring as a whole. So, Czech Republic, I'm rooting for you. I can't wait to see what you do. I love Cyprus this year. I've loved Cyprus since 2018. I think that they've always said some really interesting stuff, but I'm really happy to see them break kind of the female bop, and they sent this instead, which is very interesting, very unique, very light, very ethereal, very pretty. I think it's a really beautiful song, maybe getting a little overlooked right now, but just for sheer what it represents and what it does, I think that it's very cool, and I'm excited to see not only what they do, but where they go with this from here. So, very excited to see the staging, very excited to see the show as a general, and yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Number 2 choice this year is Serbia, and it's so good. Constructa has grown on me so much over the course of the past few months. I will be devastated if she doesn't make it through. I can't see how she won't. This song is really interesting. It's super catchy. It's very different, and it's something that I think the contest needs in terms of not only like spectacle, but also just in the sense that she presents something very unique, put together, beautifully realized. This entire piece, this entire package is just super cool and forward thinking, and I'm really excited to see what they do with it next. My choice number 1 is Sweden. I'm such a bad statistic. I think that this song is excellent. I think Cornelia has a wonderful voice, super beautiful, very well realized performance, very well realized song. I think that there's something so cool about her and the raspiness of her voice. It's very Bonnie Tyler meets Tove Lo. There's something very special about her and how she presents something on stage. I know some people aren't as much a fan of her as I am, and I think that, but for me, I feel like there's a reason that this song is currently topping a lot of the charts. It's currently topping a lot of the bookie notices, and I think it's for a reason. I think that it's because this song is so universal. It's relatable, it's dynamic, and it's heartfelt, and it's not super clean, which I think is the big thing. I think Sweden gets criticized a lot for not being... for being super glossy, super chic, super slick, and to present something that's not that. To present something that's very measured and careful, but still with all these loose ends and this frayed edges and just everything about the song, I think is works really well for me personally. I guess I'm always going to be a bit of a Sweden fan. I've liked them since Loreen. I've liked them since before Loreen, before I even knew what Eurovision was. So, yeah, this is something really cool, really special. It's my number one choice to go through, and it's currently my choice to win. So I hope that I can see this not only in the final, but hopefully at the top. I would really... This is my choice. So I hope you've enjoyed yourself. Thank you for joining me once again. My name is Matti. You can find my podcast, A Canadian in Eurovision, on problematic streaming platform Spotify. You can find me personally at The Big Shabam on Twitter and Instagram. And finally, if you ever want to talk about what's going on, feel free to leave me a comment or a like, because that really helps me out. And if you really want to help me out, subscribe. Apart from that, I'm always looking for more challenges, more interesting things that you would like to see. So just feel free to let me know. And I'm always happy to try to tackle some of those. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for participating. And I'll be back soon with a video where I rank my choices for the final. All right. Bye.